Hi guys, welcome back. We are here to do your update for December 2020. I can't believe I'm saying this. Now, this has been a very unique year. A lot of what's going to come through is going to be very unique this month. I'm here to guide you through that process and into 2021 and beyond. This is a very comprehensive report, and this is a really large pivotal point for us collectively. So we're going to dig deep into your astrology charts. We've also got this video where you can stream forward, stream back, and actually link into what you need to listen to. But there are very important aspects inside this video that are going to help you through. So, you're really guided to listen to each section. It's deeply important for you, and it will be changing the collective for the whole of December 2021. Now, key dates are mentioned and key themes. Let's get into the energy. Grab a cuppa, sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. Okay, moving into this month, we already have Neptune and Pisces direct. Now, in shadow energy, it can take some time to kick up some speed. This is an energy that is quite slow moving. We're also having the conjunction point this month, as well as the energy of both Saturn and Jupiter moving from Capricorn into Aquarius, which is, it's what we've been waiting for moving into 2021. It has really taken a toll on us moving through. So many of us will be very grateful, but it is a transitional stage. You need to attempt to keep as grounded as possible through it. Conjunction points can be very positive. They can bring blessings to you. The day after the eclipse, we are also having Aries and Chiron stationary direct. So again, it will move quite quickly. We do need to pay attention to inside our zodiac signs where that links to, which I will mention. But bear in mind that energy, we will start within the next 1 to 2 weeks feel like we're more energetic. We did have Aries and Chiron retrograde. It was really pushing us down for 6, feeling very tired. A lot of us still were feeling tired last month, due to the fact that Aries and Chiron was still retrograde, to give us that time to really reflect. So it's really healthy that it is moving forward, especially moving into Christmas and New Year. It's going to put us in a better standpoint where we can deeply be in our emotional grounded energy to be able to see and perceive things. Also, with Neptune and Pisces going direct, it's going to be doing the same thing. And as we move into January 2021, we will have Uranus and Taurus going direct, where next year it will be making 3 squaring points to Saturn in Aquarius. Okay, Capricorn, we're into your transit. Now, we did move away from the eclipse energy. The eclipse energy was hitting your 6th house placement. And yes, we have another eclipse this month on the 14th, which we will get into. Now, with the south node of Sagittarius, it is linking to your 12th house placement. So moving into the month, we do have Mercury entering Sagittarius, which is going to hit your 12th house placement. I will mention further in the video how to balance your chakras and handle the astrology so you can stream forward and stream back and keep it so that you can utilize it during the month. Now, with the eclipse that passed, it is going to hold the energy for 6 to 18 months because the nodes are there for 2.5 years. I also find that after that 2.5 year mark, we are initiating and, positioning everything of what we've learned. So we're spending another 5 to 6 months applying that information. Themes linking to these things can link back to May. So if you do think back to when the nodes transitioned from your 1st house placement of Capricorn into both Gemini and Sagittarius, then you will take on themes. Now, you guys have had hard innings due to the fact that we had the axis with the previous nodes of Cancer Capricorn. And now it's shifting and we are almost ending that very heavy Capricorn energy that's been hitting your natal chart. We have had Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto all in your 1st house placement. So it would have been very difficult for you to deal with that energy. You'll be happy to know that this month, yes, we do have both Saturn and Jupiter transiting from Capricorn and moving over to Aquarius, where it will lighten the load. It will be more conducive with us. It is going to hit your 2nd house placement, and with time permitting, I will be doing a video which I'll attempt to launch mid-month, and that will be for 2021 in relation to how the astrology will affect each zodiac sign. Now, on the 29th of December, we did have Neptune stationary. That was during the eclipse cycle. Now, it is quite slow moving forward. So with your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, and very similar to the 12th house, which is really oozing all over your chart at the moment, we do have the Sun in Sagittarius this month. We're having Mercury in Sagittarius, and Venus will be shifting over as well. Now that Neptune is moving direct, as it starts progressing, this does link to your third house placement. Now, third house can be to do with your communication style, how you're feeling. It can be you traveling, information coming towards you, or even information being blocked. For some of you, this can relate to not being able to talk to some people. Some of you, this can be linking to cutting off people, not wanting to, looking at the psychology surrounding it. Now, really trusting your intuition, especially with the 12th house placement of Sagittarius and moving towards the energy of Gemini. Now, many of you through probably about May, all the way through to this point, health-related dynamics might have been a contention point. Now, it doesn't mean to say that you were feeling run down. Some of you, yes, with Mars retrograde and Aries and Chiron retrograde, you may have been, because it really can fatigue us. And by this month, we are having mid-month Aries and Chiron stationary direct. So again, by mid-month, if you're still feeling quite depleted, which is quite natural this time of the year, nevertheless, it's more so than usual, potentially due to the fact that we have Aries and Chiron retrograde. Now, with Aries, it does connect to your fourth house. So any home, family, domestic situations, they potentially would have been a point of contention for you. As the month progresses, you'll find these things ease, but we do have Aries and Chiron there for 7 years. The difference is next year when we move into 2021, Mars will be entering different zodiac signs, and to bounce the month off at the beginning of the month, it is entering into Taurus on the 6th of January. Now, this will connect in with your fifth house placement. Fifth house links to creative energies. It can be birthing, it can be physically having a child. It's very creative. It's a very unique house to have the placement in. But we will talk about those things more into 2021. Now, moving into the chart leading into this eclipse factor, two things I'm seeing as a notable fact. You do have heavy placements in the 12th house. Now, this is really, although you're Capricorn and innately it can come natural to, check yourself, come correct, it can be a lot of spirituality occurring with this 12th house placement. But a lot of what you learned about growing, achieving business ventures, things to that degree, you're going to be able to apply them in a healthy fashion. With the axis of both the 12th and the 6th, pay close attention to doing things correctly by the book, because there can be 6th house placement can be the house of hidden enemies. 12th house placement can be the place of undoing. So providing you do everything correct as per se, and what do we deem as correct by society's standards, then things should flow forward. Also, at a very separate level, I do feel for many of you, with everything you've learnt and your logical, your rationale surrounding things, you may find you have great intuition and you hold it in your mind, and those benefits as to what you wanted to do, how you wanted to grow, all those things you put on hold, they're now coming to the forefront with the Gemini energy. But it's interesting because 12th house is crown and Gemini is third eye and throat chakra. So moving it through where you can articulate these bold ideas that you have, you can articulate some of these experiences you've had. Regardless, on the first day of the month, we have Mercury entering Sagittarius, connected to your 12th house. Pay attention to your thoughts. Could it be negative talk? Could it be, the things you're thinking on? Is there a critical decision you need to make and you're trying to understand it? Some people potentially might have been confusing you. 12th house placement can make great psychiatrists you know, people that can actually understand where another person's perspective is coming from. Now, on the 5th, you do have the 11th house placement of Venus and Scorpio, trining Neptune and Pisces. And at this point, yes, it is direct, but at the same time, it can be quite slow. So again, communication can be coming through. You may be, again, having people from the past come back, having old hobbies and ventures come back that you're looking at it, and it's really making a beautiful aspect both on the 5th and the 6th. Now, as we move to the 9th of December, we have the Sun in Sagittarius squaring Neptune and Pisces. Again, caution of our communication. Squaring can be difficult and can be major conversations linking to some things that occurred to you, situational ships that can be subjects directly connected to children, because Sagittarius also links to children, schooling, education. 3rd house of Neptune and Pisces. Again, this can also link to your day-to-day routine as well as children. Now, on the same day, we also are having the Sun in Sagittarius trining Mars in Aries. Now, if there is a home-related dynamic, you will find that these things will start balancing out. If there's creative projects you're dealing with that have been driving you crazy, again, those things can start clearing up and moving forward. As the month progresses, the tension point will come away from Mars and Aries, where you'll have more energy to be able to achieve things. Now, on the 14th, we are having the conjunction point. Mercury in Sagittarius is also trining Mars in Aries. Now, this is both your 12th and 4th house. So this can be where dreams are made of, really, with the 12th house placement and home. But again, because your wounds directly link to the 4th house of your routine, which I'm highly not surprised, because as I mentioned, you've had 3 major energies hitting your natal 1st house placement, which was Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto. So, you know, moving away from that is going to be tough for you guys this month, but you will be deeply appreciative of that energy, releasing your 4th house placement. The only one remaining will be Pluto. Now, Pluto will remain there for another 3 years, but you'll find it will counteract the agitated energy. It will be less harsh. Now, the conjunction point is occurring further in, but we still will have conjunction points happening with both Jupiter and Saturn. Now, that's occurring on the 14th. That is very much hitting your natal 1st house placement. So again, do think back to previous to May of what was going on around that time. And again, anything you have been working on inside yourself, inside your connections, you will find these things will transform. A lot of what you learned in the last 3 years is really going to be able to be applied to this situation here. Now, on the 14th, we are having the solar eclipse in Sagittarius at 23 degrees. So with the 23 degree point plus the conjunction point with both Jupiter and Saturn, I'm seeing that you guys both emotionally and physically are bringing that to the forefront, but I do highly recommend that you keep grounded moving into this transit and out, because with it hitting your 1st house natal, it can fatigue you. Again, if you do need to, I will further into the chart, into this video rather, discuss the elements of ways you can balance that energy within the chakra report. Now on the 15th, we are having Aries and Chiron stationary direct. This links to your home, any domestic situations, your psychological foundations and endings. And again, with the eclipse, it will be a 6 to 18 month energy that you'll be moving forward with. And as Aries and Chiron stations direct and starts moving, give it 2 to 3 days. You'll find that energy is going to move. Situations can start tying up, linking to home and family and your routine and all the obligations that have been hitting you. As well as on this day, we're also having Venus entering Sagittarius. So the way you're going to be dealing with your marriages, contracts, partnerships will be more looking at the spiritual connection. And again, you may be thinking things, but bear in mind with Sagittarius, the things you need to talk about, the things you have to do to make those connections grow will be coming up, and it can be a lot of meditation. Now, moving from the 15th to the 18th, we are having conjunction points both with your first and your second house placement. That's because the transit of both Saturn and Aquarius are transitioning over Saturn and Aquarius. Saturn is joining Aquarius. Okay, so on the 17th, we're having Saturn move from Capricorn, your first house placement, into Aquarius. And then on the 19th, we're having Jupiter enter Aquarius from Capricorn. Now, the conjunction point is occurring on the 21st. Prior to that, between the 16th and the 18th, you will find a lot of first house placement. So this can be large epiphanies, changes in the way you're moving, changes in the way you're feeling about things, but it's things coming to a head. Now, we do call this conjunction coming up the Millionaire's conjunction. So the blessings you can have is the work that you've done on yourself, and money can be coming through various means, which I will discuss in the financial aspect of the report. All aspects of this report are from an astrological point of view, and if you do need a professional linking to any of these areas, please seek those. Now, on the 21st, we are having the Sun enter Capricorn, which is connected to the winter solstice. Now, this is your first house placement. So many of you may be feeling yourself. That also can be because both Saturn and Jupiter have transitioned over from your first house placement to the second. The second house placement is all about the things you've built. When I say built, your networking, your net worth, land, material value, professional resources. It's not going to happen right away, but you will find over this transit, you will be using that energy in a network sense for the bigger picture. This can also be where your self-esteem builds through this process to actually achieve balance within that second house placement. Now, with the house placements in your chart, depending on how you've been working with this transit, the fifth house placement can also link with Uranus and Taurus to your creative ventures. Now, if there has been contention points with that and you've been working very hard, during this time you can find by mid-month these creative endeavors you can alchemize from, and there can be rewards directly from them. There can be movement linking to home, there can be movement linking to self-esteem and you feeling very much grounded or a new vibration of who you are. From a networking point of view, marketing, advertising, with the energy of Aquarius, it's going to assist you. Now, moving towards the end of the month, before I get into your love read, on the 30th, we are having a full moon in Cancer. Now, it is at the critical degree, so it is very similar to the Fool card in Tarot, jumping over and transitioning in. Now, the nodes were hitting both your first and your seventh house previously. So, you know, subjects connected to relationships, marriages, contracts, partnerships can be coming up. And some of these things you may have a perspective and a perception connected to it with the 12th house of psychology, spirituality, that you may be letting something go. And it can be an emotional release. It can be where you find peace. It can be where the connections are more peaceful. Regardless of how it's playing out, moon energy relates to emotion. It can relate to feminine energies. Sun relates to masculine energies. So potentially by the end of this month, we both have the yin and yang inside us. You can be coming through, in a sense, with the Sun in Capricorn, being very accountable, feeling like there's burdens, but feeling yourself, I'd say, because it's first house placement. With the moon, again, it is your seventh house placement. So really looking at those things and going, oh God, okay, deja vu. But it's a healing aspect of it because it's at the 0 degrees. Now, with it coming up, try and keep balance so that you're not telling yourself falsities that something's going to repeat a pattern. Now, Pluto being in the house of Capricorn for you guys will benefit you. Why? Because you will know when to cut your losses with things. You will know how to rebuild, and it will help us as it moves forward over the next 3 years, and it will definitely help you. Back to first house placement, go Capricorn. What does all that mean by mid-month? Now, yes, the beginning of the month, there still can be that pressure point, especially with Aries and Chiron retrograde. Number one, within your marriages, contracts, partnerships, you will be able to return the energy to peace and be able to know definitely what you want. I had that with the reversal of it, which was with my Cancer rising. And so I feel you, it was tough. Now, with that, what you will find is with the second house placement, your self-esteem is going to be on fire. Plus, because you had the first and the seventh house, that you had been going through over the last 2.5 years previous to this year, moving to May, it ended and we were applying that energy. So where you're going to stand at the end of this year is going to be on solid ground. You will feel more yourself, first house placement. You will be more in power of saying yes and no on what you do want when it does come to these things. And a lot of the things that you did go through are going to become toolkits to advance yourself moving forward. The one area of life that will be growing will be the second house placement, and that can be your net worth. Now, any of you that have been on the fence, these situations can start clearing up. Decisions can start to be made. You can attract energies back into your life, and definitely by about the last 2 weeks, blast from the past. Now let's have a look at your chakra report. As I mentioned, 12th house placement, crown chakra and third eye. Clearing of the ego, clearing of the mind, detoxifying, so to speak. Like a decalcification. Now, balancing it with guided meditation. Plus, you'll find that the blockage will come from the third eye. Clearing the third eye out. Plus, with every moon phase, you will find third eye will be activated for you. Now, base chakra also, solar plexus and sacral chakra, due to the heavy aspects that both Jupiter, Saturn, and the moon energy is making. Amethyst can also assist with the energy of the 12th house placement. Now, because of Uranus and Taurus being still in retrograde till the 1st of January, Taurus links to your 5th house of luck. It's also where we manifest abundance. This is connected to both inner child energy of co-creative energy, which is the yellow chakra, as well as it will link to moon energy by the end of the month, due to the fact that we have the moon in Cancer. So any moon phases that you're dealing with any of these blockages, third eye clearing. Now, yes, you still may feel fatigued this month, so be gentle on yourself. By the time we do reach mid-month, again, there can be tension points leading up to the eclipse in Sagittarius. But again, if you do stay grounded, due to the fact that Mars, the energy inside of Chiron and Aries, can be agitating it, keeping grounded, knowing that, whomever you're dealing with, that is causing issues on any given level, or if it's fatigue and stress, balancing, meditating. If it means leaving the dishes for a little bit, going back to them, do such. If you're, if you're busy at work with the hustle and bustle, breathe. If you have to, behind the desk, take your shoes off, depending on where you are. You might be working from home, however this relates. Keep grounded till after the 15th, where they're moving to the conjunction point. Blessings can come financially. Keeping your emotions in check and not burning out. Also, be gentle to yourself with emotions that come up with the 12th house placement. It can be quite an emotional month, either from you holding things in. Clear the throat chakra. Throat chakra will also, in the higher sense, because we do have Aries and Chiron there, our vibration can be going low. Plus, inner healing, the Taurus energy with squaring aspects we're having this month, it's higher heart chakra. Capricorn work, as I mentioned, Aries and Chiron retrograde. Be patient moving into the month. Also, because of the conjunction points, this can be gains, going up a level, receiving a job, looking at a different way you can do things if you're unemployed, especially with the 12th house, tapping into spirituality, utilizing what you have inside of you. Also, this can be hidden things coming towards you at a level of finance. Even if we are seeing in the media things to the degree of, feeling overwhelmed, feeling like we can't achieve. Remember, we're moving into the energy of Aquarius, which is conducive with humanity. It helps with networking, marketing, utilizing the Gemini energy in your chart, which is linked to the 6th house placement. 6th house is interesting. It's almost how we empathically understand it, because you've got both 12th and 6th house placement, creating healthy boundaries. Also, you could be holding things close to your chest, cautious of judgment. But the 6th house is the house of hidden enemies. Now, sometimes that can be us. Sometimes it can be we're running ourselves ragged and not looking after ourselves. Now, diet does come up. So although I didn't mention it in the transit linking to your gemstones, I will mention it here with stress levels relating to work. If you're needing to get on top of tasks, get them done in the first 2 weeks. You still may be tired, but you want to be able to recoup, moving to the middle of the year where you can reap your rewards, you can rest up and get ready for 2021. Now, home from the beginning of the 2 weeks, yes, it can be tense. There can be subjects to do with home coming up. Also, when it does come to insurance policies and things to that degree, those things can be coming up for you to look at. And although I don't mention this from an advisor's point of view, that's very much professional. This is from an astrological chart point of view. Now, emotions and wounds relating to family also can be coming up. So your thought process, depending on what you believe, Christmas, New Year's, your emotions relating to these things, especially as we move to the end of the month when we do have the full moon in Cancer. Taking stock of what family means, taking stock of what, security means, and your given foundation. As Mars goes direct, the pressure will go off that. And when I keep saying Mars, but it's Aries and Chiron, which still relates to Mars. As it goes direct, you'll be able to see things differently. And it's not that you're seeing things wrong, but it'll take the pressure point off the wound. Now, any creative projects you're trying to get finalized at home, if you're decorating or doing anything to that degree, you will find, again, things will flow, but it can take a bit of time because we do have Uranus and Taurus linked to your 5th house placement, which can cause delays. Now, with Mercury being in Sagittarius, you can find growth regardless. So moving forward, getting things done, looking at the bigger picture as to, what you want to change about. Now, by the 2nd and 3rd week, and even moving to the end of the month, subjects relating to relationships will be coming up. And this is anything linking to marriages, contracts, partnerships. And again, 12th house placement can be the ending of things and a beginning of the new, due to the fact that we're having a new moon and a full moon energy. These will be things that you are directly aware of at this current point in time. Now, Uranus and Taurus goes direct the first day of the month. I'll try and get the videos out relating to January ahead of time. I'm also trying to do the very best I can, with Aries and Chiron retrograde, with the time where I can create more content relating to how the Aquarian energy and the transits next year. If time permits, I will do additional videos. So sub if you haven't, so you get the information in your subscriber box, so all this content can come to you. I already have up my sleeve 6 months worth of astrology ready to go for a recording, so I am well and truly prepared for the transits. Dreams, well, gosh, what can we say about this with you guys? You got 12th house placement. Don't be surprised if all the information you got locked up in that mind of yours is all going to come to good use, because that's really what I'm seeing. Once we have both Saturn and Jupiter move over to Aquarius, it's taking the pressure off that 1st house placement, and you have officially achieved your goal of your upgrade. You are moving to the next base, which is 2nd base. It's quite funny, really. Comedy's been coming through this week for a reason. Anywho, okay, 2nd house placement to increase your natural resources, your professional resources, your possessions, your land, your material value, your net worth, and your self-esteem. But because we do have that there, and you've got the 6th house placement, be cautious. When I say be cautious, cautious of diet and eating, because emotions with the 12th house can run you ragged. Documenting, taking time to meditate, exercising, and looking after your health during the transit. At this point in the game, I can say, Capricorn, welcome back and get ready for your new rebirth. Now, soul connections. This is something that I wanted to look at. Now, a lot of zodiac signs, I've been doing this very much because we are reaching the end of the year. We have had lockdown energy and things to that degree. So, it's always very emotional moving towards the end of the year. Plus, I have been noticing very synchronistically, certain house placements are relating to the other side, meaning passed over loved ones. Can be a friend, can be just the trigger point of observing of what the collective has gone through. I really see with the 12th house placement, you're very interconnected and you definitely will be moving forward. With Venus entering that area of the 12th house, again, tap into how you're feeling. Sagittarius is asking you to let go of old things. They can be old grudges, old wounds within your marriages, contracts, partnerships, and know that you're not left with nothing. There can be a rebuild. That can be with the same person or with a new energy completely, however it transforms. But from a 12th house point of view, if there has been people that you know that have passed over, 12th house can be where you get psychic guidance. Sometimes, depending on the skill of that energy inside us, it does develop, especially with the 12th house. Clearing your third eye can help you actually deal with some of that energy of psychic development. It also does, to a degree, because it is 12th house, some of us receive messages very synchronistically. It can be a smell, it can be flickering of the TV, electric devices going on and off, a song that comes up relating to that person, and you happen to be synchronistically thinking about them. It's the way they channel you. They also tap into you during your mindset of your memories with them. So pay attention to what's being shown to you. If it's still a very raw energy, my love and thoughts are with you. And look at the energy of what that person was, and make that energy inside of you part of you. So what do I mean by that? Let's take the honor of what those people were and make them proud. Light a candle for them, think loving thoughts of them, moving into the moon in Cancer, which is an emotional energy, especially at the 0 degree point. Be gentle with yourself and sit with the energy with the 12th house. On a brighter note, have a very happy Christmas and a happy new year. Thank you for all your likes, subscribes and shares. Thank you for all your super chats and your kind donations and bookings. If you are wanting a booking, the link is below, as well as I do read any feedback you give me. If you do feel this relates to you, please tell me how. I'd love to hear your feedback. Welcome back to your first house. I hope by mid-month you're feeling fantastic. You've worked very hard for it. Join me live. I will be live during the month, and I will see you also on the other side of 2021 and beyond to guide you. Keep safe, guys.